Alright, welcome everybody, one and all, to the Tortured Phantom level 1 Warlock build. This thing goes the distance. It is devastating in PvE and an annoyingly dangerous PvP opponent as well. Here is your build. Go ahead and pause the video. This class is very effective in PvE and can be super dangerous in PvP as long as you are able to get a casting implement like the Crystal Ball, a book, and then some melee weapons like the Bardiche, Longsword, Falchion, or the Zweihander. You poke them, and then you annihilate them. It breaks ankles with Phantomize. And if you underestimate it, you're dead. Here's one of the favorite parts about this build, though, is the ability to absolutely become a loot magnet. Hellfire destroys doors, objects, chests, and it goes through walls. So just use this thing to suck up loot, destroy in PvE and PvP. So we're going to be looking at some Inferno gameplay, as well as the Howling Crypt. It is arguably the worst class in the game. Right off the bat, any class pushing you is going to beat you. That's why you have to get a casting implement and the melee weapons. It's also the king of the rats. This is the new best class for picking up cheese. As long as you use the environment to your advantage, you are going to annihilate. Just use some of these damage over times to life leech health with Torture Mastery, and then use Hellfire to obliterate everything in your path. Hellfire starts off doing 60 magical damage. It can one-shot classes, and if you get some gear on it, you can 1vx. Catch them unaware. It also works really well in the Deathball Trios meta. If you buff it up and it gets behind them and casts Hellfire inside of them, Hellfire does multiple ticks of damage. It can hit players and entities several times depending on where they're moving and where you're sending the Hellfire to. Another fun and powerful weapon for this class is the Crystal Sword. You can also use it as a casting implement, so it works both ways. Really right here, this guy gets smoked trying to go into the red portal, and this guy over here is in absolute panic mode. But the spider's kind of stopping us from progressing, but we managed to pick up a nice little fight. And then this wizard over here is going to give us a little bit of trouble, but, you know, you've got a lot of magic resist on this class, so you can kind of go toe-to-toe with most other classes in either melee or by poking and prodding. Here there's a little too much going on, so, of course, like we mentioned earlier, we're going to Phantomize to disengage. It also sometimes trades aggro, so I like this guy comes in and just leaves, and the other guy gets killed by an axe trap. And now here we have moved into Inferno proper, and like we did earlier with all the skeletons, this class is just the cheesiest little chubby rat you could ever imagine. So enjoy this Inferno gameplay here, including all of the loot, and I hope you enjoy this class immensely, because a lot of people are commenting that it's not very good, but it just needs a little second to get going. As long as you trade out that magic staff and put on like a rogue set of gear or a ranger set of gear, you're in a good spot. I don't really like the occultist pieces, but if you put on, you know, full rogue gear, you're actually totally capable. This is one of the best modules in the game for Warlock as well because of the amount of cheese. I mean, really anyone could cheese this, but because of life leech, you can actually stay outside the zone for a while as well and just hang out doing damage as long as you've got enough damage over times on multiple creatures. I always start with Power of Sacrifice because it is going to do more health ticks over time. And then I like to use Curse of Pain as well. So I just alternate between those, setting the Hellfires. So enjoy this bit of cheese and our insane loot. This was a great 0 to hero run all the way through and through. This was our spawn module here in Inferno, and I feel like we actually ended up with a pretty solid amount of loot for one room. And then we picked up this this Zweihander up here in this chest, and all this other loot. And this is how, in the beginning, when we saw that PvP, this is where I got most of that equipment from. So this 0 to Hero really led us on a pretty good path to be able to continue to drop Howling Crypt. I like Crypt because it's a bit more open for me than Goblin Cave, and I think you need a little bit more space with the Warlock in order to annoy with the damage over times, and then pressure to melee or just kind of play at a distance. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this class, the Tortured Phantom, and whether or not it's viable, and if you feel like it was worth your 5 Triumph Stones or 5 Redstone Crystals to buy. Here's a little bit more PvP, and I'll see you for the next one. I like where this is going. Take me to him, brothers. Yes! What loot did he have? Oh! Woo! We played that pretty good.